What Elon wants, Elon gets, and he certainly deserves it. Shareholders approved his pay package, which could reach $1 trillion in overall compensation, and it passed with over 75% approval, and I approve as well. Without Elon, there is no Tesla. Now, I want to show you this. This is the list of the top 100 popular stocks on Robinhood, and of course, Tesla came in at #1, followed by Amazon and Apple. So let's take a look at Tesla. And what does the chart tell us? All right, this is the 5-minute chart, and I will go over that also on the daily, weekly, and monthly. But we are right here. I will mark that out. Change the color very quickly. So we're at 445.91, down 3.5%, and we are basically at the middle of the trend here, the median. And if we chop sideways, we could do this with this as support if we continue to follow this line, and if we bounce up, that will be support, resistance. So you'll have to kind of fight through that area. But to the north side, we have a gap fill that starts at roughly 455.36, and at 2 standard deviations, 458.72. Resistance, a potential take profit area, a sell limit area, 465.81. The gap closes out at 468.26, and down the road we could hit possibly 473.14. And this used to be an old price target that we hit, and I marked that line out. Well, I'll have to show it to you on the daily. It's just easier. I can't drag it back that far. All right, so let me hit option R. We almost closed out the gap, but we didn't. And so this is still in play to the upside. But there's a gap that will also take us down to 432.76. And then below that, at another level of support, 430.22, 423.04, and roughly 416. And that gap closed out. Wait, there was a gap here as well. Is that the same one? Let me just clean this one up. Okay, that is a separate gap. Let me hit Command Z. So this one we gapped up, so that means we filled to the downside. And we touched right there. Okay, that makes sense. 414.54, but this one, is part of the bigger one. And that is still in play down to 396.40. All right, and then after that, 368.93, and then we've got this landmine to the south side. We're not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, just down the road. We could touch that. Now let's take a look at this on the daily. Okay, ignore this because I've marked this out so many times. But let's look at the RSI first. And we are still bleeding out. Plenty of room to go to the downside. And what did we hit here? That was 20. And then on the upside, 80. All right, but still going down, so there's more bleeding out to do on the daily. While I'm here, let's just look at the RSI on the weekly. What does it tell me? We hit a critical area, ran down, bounced back up, but we are now heading south. So that makes sense because I never expect the RSI to stay up at this level without consolidating, barcoding in price. So we hit this critical area, and I know we're going to start bleeding out. And on the monthly, we never hit it, the overbought area, and we're starting to go down. So all 3 time frames tell you that this thing is going down, and we did. All right, oops, back to the daily. Let me give you some price action. Option R. All right, I know this looks like a hot mess, but ignore all the horizontal lines. So we're at 445.91 in this red line here. And to the north side, that will take us to 514.93. And to the south side, that gap will close out, and that will be roughly 391.81, which will take us to an area I've already marked out previously. We're just headed back to that area. We went up, and then now it looks like we could possibly be giving it back. The 1-year price target is $600, and the analysts, based on 52 people, say that we could go down by another 10% for a dip buy for some people at $399.84 and then $120. That would be a miracle. I would load up the truck, back it in, and buy at this level if that's the case. But that's going to be a long ways off. You're going to have to fight for that level. I don't think Michael Burry can make Tesla sink that low. Not in recent months, not even, I don't think, in 2026, even though many people are saying that we're in for a reset to the downside, that we are going to bleed out. And if we do, I will be ready for it. Have your dry powder ready. All right, the next one I want to go over, let's take a look at the losers, because I'm more interested in the losers than I am in the runners, because what goes up must come down. These are going to retrace back here, so I'm not interested. But AMD, we went down 7.27%. This is the daily. RSI falling, so watch out, more bleeding to go through. And 237 is where we are, and we touched this. Did we touch it? Let me flip it to the 5 to make it easier to see. But we have gaps to fill that I have already marked out and that I anticipate for a pullback. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because everything pulls back. Okay, so we are not done with this gap, although it looks like we closed, but we are not. That will take us down to, see how when you go to the different time frames, everything gets wonky, and that's why I really don't like to show you the different time frames when I record unless I'm staying on that time frame, because everything gets wonky. I never used to do that, but TradingView changed something. The enemy of good is better, and that's what happened here. So let me give you some price targets. $237.70 is where we are. Let me give you to the upside. So that I will mark out. Is that right there? Right where this gap begins. And then this line I marked out on the middle of the trend there on October 21. And now we've sliced through it. All right, so to the north side, 241.94, 251.32, and then this gap closes out at 255.66, something to look forward to the upside, but we are still in a downward channel, 260.86. And to the south side, that gap will close out at 235.39, 232.72, 228.11, and down the road, 223.34, with these gaps also to watch out for, 218. Okay, and then let's talk about Palantir, because this is getting to an area where I am thinking about buying in. My friend, who I am teaching how to trade, texted me and said something about, possibly buying in the 180s. I'm like, no. For some people, that might be a good pullback area. This was just on Wednesday, the 5th. Was it Wednesday or Tuesday? She texted me. And I said at this is where was it? Oh, yeah. I mentioned to her that we are going to get to this price. So for some people, that might be a buy-in dip area, but not for me. And then I told her about this one and this gap. So I've been tracking Palantir for a very long time because I own this, and I'm up 900%, even with the pullbacks. 900 and something percent. So I was going to, I thought about buying in here, just trickling, because, you could buy in, run it up, and then sell it again, but I didn't want to. But really, I wanted to get to 168.82 and buy in, because that's a pullback area for me, and down to 153.16 as well, and that one closed, but we could retrace back to 162.44. It depends on what you want to do. When I buy in at these higher levels, that's higher for me because I bought in the 10, 12, 20, $65 range. It doesn't make me want to buy down here, but I would do it for a trade, not to keep. So the other shares I will keep. All right, let's give you some price targets for Friday. $175. Let's just move this. 05. Oops. All right. To the north side, ignore all the lines there. That will be 182.11. We're just going to retrace whenever we bounce. 185.91 and 189.71. I did buy in a long time ago shares at 177.99, and it looks like I might have sold at 180. Yeah, let's go back to it. Yeah, I did that right here just to get rid of the shares for an only 1% return. So I was like, I'm out of there. Again, it's a trade, so I don't care about keeping things that I don't plan on holding for long term. Depends on what price I bought, what lot I bought. Okay, to the south side first, let me mark out this line. That's now the new middle of the trend. And then we've got pullbacks to 167.10, 163.43, and 159.38. And I don't know if we can get to this low so quickly. Okay, that is it. Oh, and I want to go over a trade I took at Fastly. This happened while I was on the phone with a friend for an hour, and I missed deleting my sell limit order because I was too busy on the phone. Okay, first I'm going to give you price targets. Okay. $10.97 is where we are. To the north side, resistance, $11.65, $12.38, and $13.05, or well, $13.10. I do own some up here at $12.61, but what happened today is this ticker ran because of earnings right here. They got slammed down because I've traded this thing in the past. And they reported 158.22 million, and they were only expected to bring in 151 million. So we ran like the dickens. And I set a sell order a long time ago. I bought in at 520. I still own the shares also at 503. So I made a return today of 86.15%. And silly me, because I wasn't watching it. I never set an alarm either, and I wasn't thinking this thing was going to run, okay? So I could have made a 116% return instead of just an 86% return. Can't complain though, because I still own it down here, and I will once we retrace, because now there's an open wound right here to the downside for retracement, because there will be one. You can't expect this thing to continue to run without barcoding, consolidating, going sideways. Okay, this is like profit taking here. So to the downside will be, well, let me move this first. Let's go back to here, and that is going to be 809. And let me move this just a little. Let's see, I have to take the magnet off. The magnet makes things wonky. Okay. Oops. You have to grab the stuff at a certain spot or it's just not going to align. So I sold at let me make sure I correct this. 968, not 70, because that makes a difference. Okay, got to be precise here. All right. What else? Oh, let's take a look. Look at this. And I told my friend this. Anytime you see this, where there's massive just going sideways consolidation, there's going to be a potential rip to the upside. There's only two ways it's going to go. A rip to the upside or flushing down, okay? And in this case, we've been down, so it went up. So that's good to see. But there are many gaps that I was following that it needs to be cleaned up because I have not tracked this for a very long time. Look, this was close to where I anticipated. I just drew it and it's close enough. That's done. No longer in play. This is done to the upside there at 875. This gap, look at this. Did that touch? Or is that going to haunt us? Oh, let's see. Ooh, I don't know. It touched it. Well, I made the lines thick too. I don't know. All right, I think I'm just going to give it as a win as a gap fill. The hantavirus, it'll come haunting us back. Okay. That's, all right, 773. So I sold this previously for a 2% return. I've traded it here, traded there. All right, and look at this. We've got this to deal with. So there's your pullback. And this one closed. See, look, I have not touched this in so long. I mean, I look at it for myself, but I have not gone through and cleaned up the chart. Delete. All right. Oh, and look at that. Yeah, this ticker has whipped us around, man. Because look at that, the 52-week high, 1208. Anyway, I need to go through and clean that up, but for now I am done. That is a look at Tesla, more like Stressla. And I also, I bought some TSLA also, but it went down, but that's okay because I have tons of it at a cheaper price than I bought it in today. So Tesla, AMD, and PLTR, and FSLY. That does it for me. Have a great trading day.